Hey, hey, my beautiful friends. It's your girl Jules here, and happy day to you. Today, I'm going to be showing you how to use cream foundation two ways. So, being a professional makeup artist, you have to know how to use the products in different ways so that way you get the most out of it. Now, if you are here with me live, say hey, and if you're watching the replay, type in replay. All right, so cream foundation. Now, let's talk about why I use cream foundation to start with. Cream foundation is going to have the most amount of pigment. Now, the foundation that I use is formulated by a company called RCMA. And so this is like the most common you'll find in high profile artists. Let me grab my little palette so you can see. So RCMA stands for Research Council of Makeup Artists. So, right? And then this is my palette. Now, what I love about LimeLife is LimeLife offers RCMA foundation in their line. So this is like a little sample, right? So I have a bunch of clients who just ordered some foundation. They've got it in and they need to know how to use it. So I'm going to walk you through. So why am I using it? It's because, again, 50% pigment is RCMA. Now, which is LimeLife. Now, why is that important? Because on the market, like what you're able to go buy when you go to the makeup counter or you go to the, where do you go? The pharmacy, the CVS, the drugstore, right? That's going to be at max 23%. 23%, what I'm working with is 50% pigment. So think about that. If I have 50% pigment and you have at best 23% pigment, you're going to have to use double in order to get the coverage that you want to get, right? Or that I'm able to get with just half of that product. So that's why it's important. The other reason is because you can shear it down. What that means is you can add some oil to it or add some moisturizer and turn it more into a tinted moisturizer versus it being like a heavier, more opaque foundation. So y'all hear my dog? She is like back here living her best life. Okay, back to cream foundations because I really want to show this to you because it's important that you know how to do this. All right. So with foundation, you want to make sure that you're thinking about your desired look. So I'm going to show you how to do the sheared version because we're going into summer. So I'm going to use One Drop Wonder, which is amazing. I'm starting to get it open right now. One Drop Wonder is 100% pomifera oil, which is really wonderful for your skin. Dry, sensitive skin, this is going to be a great option. For all skin types, due date would also work for this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit on this finger palette. This is my favorite thing when I was working, like just put this on your thumb and I would just be able to do everything I need to do. So I'm just going to do a little drop, like a drop. One drop means one drop. Sometimes clients think like a dropper. It's just one drop. And I'm going to grab a little bit of the foundation. All right, so I just scrape that out. Now, I know that at home, you're not going to have all this stuff. I'm still a makeup artist, so you got to work with me, all right? Like, I'm doing what I can do to, like, show you the personal application, but then also, like, my brain just kind of works a certain kind of way. That's honest. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the brush that I'm going to work with, and I'm just going to, like, mix that together. Now, you might do this at home on the back of your hand, but you might waste product. So I would recommend getting like maybe a spoon, and that could be your palette. Okay, so see that? It's different consistency than when I first started. So let me show you that. So see how this is thicker? And then now I sheared it out. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put that down. So this is the 418 brush from my brush roll from Omnia. And this one is for concealing, spot healing. So I'm going to take this in the area where I want the most coverage, which is going to be under eye. So I'm going to go under there. Now look at that. Like that's sheared out with one drop Wonder, and it's still a lot of pigment. This is what I was talking about in the beginning. More pigment means I don't have to use as much. All right, so I'm just going to kind of work that. Probably work that. I put that a little too far over. I don't need all that. All right. Let's see. And then I'm going to grab, this is the 430 brush. This is, I'm working all through my brush roll in case you're wondering. And now I'm just going to lightly just kind of buff that out. Just buffing it. Okay. So on this side, I'm going to do the sheared out, and then this side, I'm going to do the heavier coverage. Okay. Just bring that down. So this is going to be more of like a natural look, right? So I'm just going to put it where I need it. Again, we're thinking summer. We're thinking like, you always want to do around your nose, broken capillaries. Summertime, you're not really wanting to wear a bunch of heavy stuff, or maybe you do. I mean, hey, I support you on your journey. But if you don't, you need to know how you can work the products. All right, that's all I'm gonna do. I don't really want to do a whole bunch more. All right, I'm looking, I have my Reiki mirror on, so I'm just kind of double checking in the mirror. All right, so that's one side. Now let's say you want heavier coverage. What we are going to do, how y'all doing? Y'all liking this? All right, let me grab, all right, so I have the concealer. I'm sorry, the foundation. I'm just working with foundation today. Just working with the foundation. All right, so I'm going to take it from here. So if you were at home, you would just dip your brush right into yours. But I'm working from the palette. All right, so I've got that. So, all right. I'm going to have to grab some more because I really want to do like a heavier on this side to show you. Just kind of tapping this. Now, if I were doing like more of a, I don't know, a going out look or event makeup or something, I would definitely use more foundation and I would be using it all over my face. Typically, what I like to do is just lighter spot where I need it. Okay, so I'm going to take that. But as I always tell you, you're the boss. You can do it how you want to. All right, so I'm just adding it on. And it's kind of warming on my skin right now. Okay. I'm just putting that on. All right, so then I'm gonna grab my bigger, fluffier brush. This is the Duo Fiber. This is the 255. I'm just gonna blend that out. There's more to move. That's why I need a bigger brush. Looking up. Just blending. All right. What am I doing? I'll add a little more just so I can keep showing you. Now, I like to have a contour and blush and highlight underneath foundation. Okay. That's how I've always done makeup. I feel like it gives a more natural look. So if I were doing heavier foundation, that would already be done. All right, so I'm gonna kind of just go back over. I'm just adding a little bit more. And then I'm gonna add now, just here, because I want to show you the difference. So I'm just getting that up there. It's kind of warming again while it's on my skin. So that's good. That'd be kind of fun to show you two ways on one face. Okay. Now I'm gonna blend it. What I like about this brush is it gives me kind of like that airbrush feeling. So I'm gonna go in circles. So if you have a fluffy brush, see, I'm just going in circles, just moving it all around, real light. What's great about a duo fiber is you've got synthetic hair and then you've got real hair. So I can do a lighter application, a lighter blending just by how hard I'm holding it. So I'm holding it lighter, got more of that airbrush feeling. I'm pushing down more, and now I'm working with more of those real hairs. All right. So remember, so this side is my tinted moisturizer kind of look, and then this side has the heavier coverage. But with cream makeup, you have options. You can go with whatever intensity level you need for that day. So whatever, however you're going to paint your face, whatever canvas you need, there you go. So got the lighter that I did with the One Drop Wonder. And again, I just kind of mix that one drop and then together. You can also put the One Drop Wonder or whatever oil you're using on your face first, and then add the cream, and that will kind of start to blend on your face. But if you're not wanting that much, then you can do it like I did it, do it separately somewhere. So the suggestion is maybe like a spoon or something, putting a little bit of makeup in there, then putting a drop of oil next to it, and then mixing it together. So that way you can have more of a controlled application. So, all right, any questions? One question you might have is about color matching. So when you're color matching, consider your neck, consider your décolleté, right? This area. So if this is a lot darker than your face, then your foundation might need to go a little bit darker in order to kind of even things out. If you want to match your face instead of your neck, just make sure you're bringing some elements of that color of your neck into your face. So maybe like in your bronzing or your contouring area, right? So we just kind of want to warm you up then if you want to go with a lighter face. Let's see, you may be using brushes similar to like more of a traditional foundation brush, and that's fine too. So this is more of a traditional concealer brush. That's fine too. So I just like to kind of apply it with a smaller brush and then blend out. Why? Because this brush is bigger. This brush has more bristles, right? So what's going to happen is that product's going to get trapped in there more so than in here. So Stephanie, hey Stephanie, thanks for joining. What's better to use, a sponge or brush for applying liquid foundation for mature skin? Great question. Oh, I'm so glad you brought up sponges. So let's see if I have a sponge. I actually don't apply any makeup with a sponge. I know, you might be like, what do you mean? The reason why, it's because I use sponges for more of a blending, right? So let me grab a sponge. I got some next to me. All right, so I've got. Now, the most important thing when you're using a sponge is you want to make sure that it's wet. So like it's got to be damp on some level, because what a sponge does is suck things up. So if you have a dry sponge, it's going to steal your makeup, okay? So now keep that in mind. Now, when do I want it to suck up my makeup and steal it from me? When I've done too much. So you can use a dry sponge. I often have them on hand, like the little triangle sponges. I used to keep those in case I put like too much blush and I wanted to knock it down. You can use a dry sponge and just kind of like erase it, if you will, okay? When it's damp, now it's gonna blend. And so that's when you see that kind of pouncing, and that's just gonna help blend it in. That's really nice. I mean, to really get into this inner corner, that's awesome with a sponge, especially when they're shaped in a way that works for that. So great question. Thank you so much for asking that. So yeah, making sure also that you're cleaning those sponges. That's another part of it. It's so much work to like keep upkeep with your sponges. So just make sure that you're not letting it build up, because when you see a lot of makeup, you can just imagine there's a lot of dirt and oil that's also trapped in the sponge and makes it kind of like a gross breeding ground. So use something like, if you have, you can use cleanser, you can use, let me think, like baby shampoo works, Bromers, something like that, like something gentle, because it's going on your face, right? So just kind of massaging like that, then rinse it out, let it dry, let the air get all the way around it, and then it'll go back down to its normal shape. So, all right, let's see why you would use cream foundation over a liquid foundation. It's a matter of preference. So if you're using a liquid foundation, it's not going to be as heavy of a coverage, right? It's going to be a more sheer coverage because of what it's made with. So typically foundations that are liquid are more of a water base, and cream foundations are typically an oil base, so they last a bit longer. The other thing with cream foundations is, again, you don't have to use as much. So, and you can take it from a sheer and then go all the way opaque. And being a makeup artist, like, I can't have all those big bottles in a kit. Like, I got to be able to have one product that can go to different intensity levels. So, Stephanie, you're washing it every 3 or 4 days. Dish soap, is that too harsh? Yeah, dish soap's too harsh. I'm so glad we're talking about this. Yeah, dish soap is too harsh. So, if you have a cleanser, that you're using for your face that doesn't have grit in it, like not an exfoliant one, that would be good. Like I said, maybe a baby shampoo, but I don't really love that for your sponge. That's just like in the meantime of you getting something. LimeLife has a great option, which is like, it's like a circle, like a hard type of a soap. And then you actually just use the brush or the sponge in there and, you know, lather it up and then rinse it out. It's really awesome. It has, I believe, coconut oil to keep the integrity of the sponge good and your brushes. Yeah, so glad we're talking about this. So yeah, so the last step I would do with the foundation is setting it. And so I'm going to use my favorite brush. This one is the 290. This is every brush that I've showed you. Besides the foundation brushes, this one and this one are in my brush roll. I have an 8-piece set that I've curated to handle whatever your beauty needs are. Okay, so I'm gonna add a little bit of just white translucent powder just to kind of set it. You see how light that brush, it's like a tiny little feather duster. It feels so good. So again, if I were doing this for a makeup application and not just for a tutorial, I would have had my bronzer or, you know, contour. I would have also had, a fly is trying to bite me. Contour, blush, highlight underneath the foundation in order for it to look more natural. This side, I have more of a dewy look, which this is more of to my preference. Then I'm going to show you another trick. So then I'm going to drop one drop wonder, just one drop right here. Incredible moisturizer, but watch this. So I'm going to take my ring finger and just kind of pat it. And when I do that, like watch, see the light? Uh-oh, look at that, look at that. I've got some radiance coming through. So it's highlighting, but there's not a highlighter, right? So the oil is actually reflecting the light. So this is a way you can do your skincare. This is a way that you can also be true to your beauty goals. If you don't really like to wear a lot of makeup, then this is a way that you can get the effect without doing too much. So, and again, this one drop wonder is great because you can mix it with the foundation and get it really sheer, right? Right. Oh, let me put the rest on my lips because it's also a really good lip moisturizer. This is great because it's on flash sale for the next 2 days, and the foundations come in little samples like this. So if you would like me to color match you, let me know. Happy to help. And little sample comes in like that. How cute, right? So you can make sure that it's your right color. And if you're not really looking to make a big investment into the big one, this little guy will really get you through. So it's great for travel too. So thank you for joining me. And that's cream foundation 2 ways. What are the takeaways? Cream foundation, more pigment. And on the market, you're only going to get up to 23% pigment, which is not a lot. And then cream foundation with LimeLife, the RCMA, is going to be 50%. So that's a lot. You're going to use so little compared to what you're used to using. And that may help with being more in alignment with your beauty goals. So if this was helpful, let me know. And if you have any questions that are kind of popping up, drop them in the comments and I'll be sure to answer them. So I hope this helps you on your weekend so you can do your makeup how you want to do your makeup. Because let's remember, you're the boss. You're the one that writes the rules on how you want to show up in your world. Don't forget that. Make sure that you hold that in your heart because it's true. And you know, oh, you know how much I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Have a fabulous weekend. And I'll see you next time. Bye.